identity, but I have a lot of faith in Campbell, a lot of faith in Holmes, replace those guys and keep the train rolling, as DC says.
I got faith as well, but I don't think we can understate how big of a deal it is that they lost the two coordinators, especially Ben Johnson, who I think has been the best play caller in football. The Eagles are the head of the class in the NFC. And then I look at the Lions to be right there with the Commanders and the Rams in that next tier. Big year for Jared Goff. Hey, the last 2 years ends three interceptions in the divisional game. The year before that, they bowl a 17-point lead. He's going to have to step up in a big way as well.
And some might argue Washington coming off of last year, adding pieces, the Rams going to get Adams. Detroit might have fallen behind those teams instead of being right there, so it's going to be a good year.
Detroit will be better on defense because they're going to be healthier on defense. They were decimated down the stretch. Different stresses on their team. My biggest concern.
Got the hot mic now.
Can they be as physical as they've been up front on the offensive line?
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, no playoff team had more players on IR.
I'm just noticing the clouds gathering in the background. Would not be surprised if we see rain at the Hall of Fame game, as is usual. Crappy weather for the Hall of Fame game. Used to live in Ohio, so I knew it well. Where I'm at in North Carolina, a giant storm is moving in. I'm sure right at kickoff it's going to knock all the power out to all of my video recording equipment. So, but we'll try to go. We'll try to make it through the storm. We're in the pregame phase. We're about 12 minutes till kickoff. I placed 2 bets just for fun to follow the game. I posted them in the chat. If anybody sees any interesting props to bet or props that they bet themselves and you want to throw it in the chat so we can root along with it, you are more than welcome to. If you have any fantasy football questions or general football questions or anything you want, I'll be reacting to the chat, to the questions and comments through the game. We'll also watch the game together. I'm here primarily to scout and watch the supposed new Trey Lance, the remade Trey Lance that I've heard so much about from people that I trust. I've seen some video that looked encouraging, but now I want to see it for real, in a real football setting. I also want to see if any of or how many of the rookies, especially for the Chargers, are going to play. Might we see some Omarion Hampton? I'm hoping we will see a little bit of Tre Harris. Should see KeAndre Lambert-Smith, among others. Trying to look to see on my list. We'll probably may see some Oronde Gadsden. On the Detroit side, Isaac TeSlaa I'll be looking at. I want to see their undrafted free agent rookie Jacoby Keeney James. For the Lions, a wide percent undrafted free agent wide receiver that I saw some good tape of pre-NFL draft. He's out of UMass. He was really good in college, obviously at the FCS level. I bet on the Chargers for the first quarter, thinking that Trey Lance may get out to a fast start and get over on that point spread, just a gamble. But I bet the Lions for the entire game. Because I think between Hendon Hooker, who will probably start this Hall of Fame game, who I've heard is playing a lot better since the switch from Ben Johnson to Johnny Morton at offensive coordinator. And then when they go past the two starters, Trey Lance versus Hendon Hooker, I really thought Kyle Allen looked really good last year in the preseason for the Steelers. And of course he got buried and they didn't bring him back. The Lions hopped all over him. I don't know if you can hear that massive thunder and lightning in the background. Hopefully we can make it through at least one Trey Lance drive before my entire setup gets zapped of its power. Crossing my fingers it doesn't. Every time a big storm comes in and I say it's going to knock out a stream, that usually jinxes it into not happening. But if the stream suddenly ends, just know a biblical storm took me away. But I think when they come off of Trey Lance and they come off of Hendon Hooker, Kyle Allen at quarterback for Detroit is going to be the edge in the game. Just a hunch from watching them play, or watching him play last year for the Steelers. He was one of the best performing quarterbacks that's not an obvious starting quarterback in the NFL. I thought last preseason was Kyle Allen. The Chargers will go to, I believe it's Taylor Heineke. We may see a little bit of Taylor Heineke, but more likely they will go to the Florida State quarterback, undrafted rookie that I don't think is very good at all. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name, DJ, and then starts with a U. I'll butcher it if I try. I tried to remember it when I was scouting him pre-draft, but then he was so bad and so off the radar, I'm like, I'm not even going to waste my time trying to learn how to pronounce his name. It's not going to matter, but I'm hoping we will see him in the second half of the Chargers, thus my Lions bet for the full game. The Lions do not have another quarterback on the roster after Hendon Hooker is the listed number 2. Kyle Allen is the listed number 3, but I think Kyle Allen's better than Hendon Hooker. But Hendon Hooker has showed some signs. But after Hooker and Allen, and of course Goff won't even suit up, the Lions have no other quarterback. So they're not the Lions are not going to turn to some rando quarterback that's making his first professional play, and they don't belong in the NFL, and it's going to be a mess. The Lions don't have that. The Chargers do. The Chargers are likely to go to that guy, and I think that's where the Lions will end up taking over this game, or at least that's the way it looks like on paper. But who's going to play, for how long they're going to play, obviously when it comes to a preseason game, especially preseason game number 1, Hall of Fame game, you have no idea what these teams are going to do. Usually this game devolves quickly into players that are not going to make the team in the Hall of Fame game. So, and I think that's edged to the Lions slightly, especially at quarterback for this particular game. Grayson's Splash 5, hey, in the house, welcome. Put anything you want in the chat if you're betting the game, if there's any angle that you're betting on the game, if there's any angle you're thinking about betting to try to make this game a little more interesting, put it in there. I will comment on it and we'll root along with it. If you have any fantasy football questions, trade situations, wondering about a player, wondering about something in the news today, wondering about something for the upcoming season, or anything else, feel free to put it into the chat and I will react to it. My primary goal, again, of watching this game, of live streaming this game, is going to be to watch the Trey Lance supposed Reformation debut as a Charger, as a newly made over, starting to gain attention in a positive way of how good he looks, working with Harbaugh, working with the Chargers. So I am highly interested. If Trey Lance is turned around, and I don't mean that he's going to, I can't imagine we're going to see the transformation that Josh Allen made in his third year. Josh Allen is the typical comp, or was the typical comp for Trey Lance coming out, and I could see that in him. And our other FFM scout, Ross Jacobs, saw that in him as well. And then it just didn't work out. I had questions on just his ability to read and see the field. I thought he threw way too many passes with one read, threw it blindly, was a lot of athlete, but not a lot of polish as a passer. And to be fair to him, he didn't have a lot of time in college, only played the one season. That was back when COVID happened and FCS shut down their season. So he had like 28 touchdowns and no interceptions, and won a national championship for North Dakota State his first year. I think they won the national championship. Then year 2 got taken away by FCS, and then all of a sudden he was eligible for the draft, and he went for it because he got to be ended up being a top 3 pick. So, but then it was all downhill from there. But he hardly played. He was the starter he was fighting to be the starter for the 49ers, and I think as Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt, and Trey Lance had to start, and it was a messy rain game that he was involved in as part of his early starts. I mean, how are you supposed to shine when that happens? Then Lance got hurt, then his whole career got off track. From there, traded to the Cowboys from the 49ers. We didn't see much of. We saw some of him in the preseason, and while he's limited as a quarterback talent, or was as a throwing talent, or was with the 49ers and with the Cowboys, you could see it in the preseason that he's still uncomfortable as a passer. He makes up for that with his athleticism and his bootlegs and his rollouts and his ability to run. If you keep it simple, he could be in another parallel universe right this second. Trey Lance could be the Justin Fields of 2025, the guy who didn't play well for a couple of years, was a limited thrower, but a hell of a runner to make up for it. If Trey Lance had the chance, or if it just fell to him that way and he had more time to play, Trey Lance could be the Jets starting quarterback that got a 2-year, $40 million deal. So Trey Lance is plausible as an NFL quarterback because he can run, but imagine if Jim Harbaugh has really turned him around and given him a boost, and he's getting closer, like he's a better version of Justin Fields now. That's what I want to see. How much more excited will I be about my Chargers bets to win the division if I know that it's not all Justin Herbert or bust? Like, if Justin Herbert goes down, we're screwed. Like my Denver bets, if Bo Nix goes down, those bets are pretty much in trouble. If Matt Stafford goes down for the Rams, my bets on the Rams, it's likely in danger. Jimmy Garoppolo's okay, but he's not Matt Stafford. If Justin Herbert goes down and they have to go to Taylor Heineke, my Chargers long odds bets to win the NFC West take a real hit. But if Trey Lance is stepped up, if Trey Lance is kind of sort of fixed, then if Herbert goes down, we may not, if it's not, as long as it's not like a long stretch of time, maybe Trey Lance would be able to get them over for a couple of games. So I'm really interested to see what Trey Lance looks like tonight. We got Ross Jacobs in the chat. He is very interested in seeing what Trey Lance's debut is going to, or Chargers debut is going to look like. And Ross correctly says he was 20 years old with 1 year of starting experience. Then he got booted out after only starting 4 games for the 49ers. He never even got a fair shake or the time and experience to get better. All true statements. This is probably his do or die spot in the NFL. Third team, gets to work with Harbaugh. If he can't swing to the upside from here, and I don't know that he's going to suddenly become Josh Allen, but if he gets to be a plausible NFL quarterback, like one of the best 32 quarterbacks walking the face of the earth, this Hall of Fame game, this preseason, because he's theoretically not going to play a lot in the regular season as long as Justin Herbert is healthy. This preseason for Trey Lance is huge for the kind of deals and everything else he can get next year. And for as weak as Trey Lance has been, and some of it just bad circumstances, some of it his own doing, some of it his limitations, I don't know that I wouldn't rather have, if I had to win one game the first week of September, if I had my choice of one quarterback to lead pick your team, and it was just for that 1 week, an emergency start, if I had to choose between Justin Fields and Trey Lance, I don't know that I wouldn't take Trey Lance right now, sight unseen in this game, to see how much better he's gotten. That may say more about how overrated Justin Fields is, but I want to try to put it into some context that for all that the football media seems to think that Trey Lance is a joke, I don't think he's that far off of Justin Fields. And in about the next hour, we may say Trey Lance is better than Justin Fields. And if Trey Lance has that kind of preseason, I think he'll be a free agent at the end of this year. He could get a nice little contract to be a starter somewhere next year. So a lot riding on this moment for Trey Lance. So yes, it's just a preseason game. Yes, it's just a Hall of Fame game, which usually is the worst of all of the preseason games. But for Trey Lance, this is it. He's got to. If Trey Lance doesn't tear it up in the first preseason game, then it's a little bit worrisome. And yes, he's not going to have the top blocking. He's not going to have all the weapons around him, but the Lions aren't going to go with all of their top weapons. And the one thing that Lance is going to be able to bring to the table, the one thing that I love betting on in the preseason, because the games get all out of whack because of the lack of blocking and the lack of time with the weapons and all of that, is Trey Lance should be able to use his feet to get the Chargers out to a lead and or win this game. And if he doesn't, if Trey Lance is struggling a little bit as a passer because of the blocking, because of the receivers he has around him, if there's any trouble there, Trey Lance has got to know, this is my moment. I'm going to make this up with my feet. I cannot leave this game without being seen as the MVP of this game. So that's why I'm betting on the Chargers for the first quarter. Probably should have bet on them for the first half too. William Newcomb, welcome to the chat. Scary Terry wants to get paid, which I get because, which I get is probably posturing, etc. But am more curious to know if Luke McCaffrey has gone into hiding, or if there's any whispers of him starting to click. It's been positive reviews on Luke McCaffrey, but also positive reviews on the new rookie. Is it Justin Lane? I know his last name is Lane. But Justin Lane, and then if Noah Brown, who is likely going to be a starter, the number 3 starter, assuming McLaurin is back, he was feared he might be missing the beginning part of the season, but he's back practicing. So if Noah Brown is back, he'll be the number 3 starter with McLaurin, with Debo, and McCaffrey will probably be the number 4. If Brown can't go, or McLaurin is traded, which I don't think will happen, then that probably opens the door for McCaffrey. McCaffrey's best situation that could happen for him is if McLaurin does get traded, but I don't think there's a snowball's chance of that happening. But all early reports are good, but in non-contact, he should thrive. He should look good because he is good. Ross Jacobs saying 100% if Trey Lance can't do it now, it's probably dead. Yeah, this is it. I mean, I hope his dad, his agent, somebody sat him down and or he just has the self-awareness that this preseason is everything for him. He can make millions of dollars next year, even as just a backup, even as a 1 year $7 million backup, even as a 2 years $10 million backup type of guy that they may have some interest in having him compete with, like an incoming rookie for the starting job next year for some team. There's millions of dollars on the line for Trey Lance to go out and, I'll say dominate, but he needs to show he's improved and he's the best backup quarterback that's playing in these games. He has to be definitively better than Hendon Hooker tonight. He has to be definitively better than Kyle Allen tonight. And he needs to carry that through every preseason game, because he will probably start and play heavy or play heavy in every preseason game for the Chargers. This is his moment. So if he does wilt in this moment, then we all have to say as scouts, just Trey Lance just doesn't have it. I wish I could prop bet. I didn't see on DraftKings nor a quick check on FanDuel. They don't have any player props in the preseason. But if anybody's on that, let me know if they just posted them at like the last. Maybe they don't post them 20 or 30 minutes in advance. But I remember prop betting, I think, players last year in the preseason. But if anybody sees that on DraftKings or FanDuel Sportsbook, that you can prop bet players, especially Lance rushing, let me know if it's out there. Ross Jacobs would take Lance over Fields in a heartbeat. I think I would too, sight unseen. There's Harbaugh firing up Trey Lance. This is your moment, man. William Newcomb, who is the play for superflexers who are firmly Justin Fields deniers? Someone on the Jets currently, or more likely Flacco or other journeymen? So let me ask a follow-up to that. Who are my real choices? Is it Justin Fields, Joe Flacco, or who else? Is there any other quarterbacks? Just so I can know the level of what quarterbacks are out there. But I'll also answer the question the way that it is in a second. We just had the opening kickoff and I saw a fumble. all right, this is a good start for my first quarter Chargers bet. Ross, if you're watching at the moment, looking at the kickoff team, I saw Kamini Vidal on the defense, on the kick return defense. What does that mean for the status of Vidal's career if he's in the Hall of Fame game kickoff defense team? Did it need that? No, that ball was out, I think. What is Grant Stewart doing returning the ball? I didn't see. It must have not have been a deep kickoff. William, is it so deep that Kenny Pickett is out there? And I'll come back to you in a second. I'm looking at the field of play. Let me take a sip of. Grant Stewart is. Grant Stewart's a middle linebacker. What is he doing returning a kick? Okay, that's a fumble. This is good for our Charger start. There's Isaac TeSlaa on the kick return offense. That I'm fine with. A rookie being put on special teams, especially an athlete like TeSlaa, I get that. He may have even been back on the return group. I didn't really look at the alignment, but TeSlaa being on special teams to start totally makes sense as a rookie. Oh, look, Ross, there's your Pat O'Connor. But Kamini Vidal on the kickoff return defense team, that's not good. Let's watch the action. I'll come back during the commercial break to talk about Pickett and everything else. Who's in the backfield? I don't have that. That's Hampton. So Disley playing, that's a strong player to be playing. If Disley's playing, I see Tre Harris. I see Slayer. I think that's the first team offensive line mostly. And then Disley would be probably the first teamish tight end with Conklin. There's Tre Harris. This is our first Hampton look. Man, look at it is amazing when you really get to see these rookies and all what we can't fully appreciate or can't fully see is, like, for Ross and I scouting all of these guys in the preseason. You see a guy like Hampton playing college ball against, Wake Forest or whoever, and you can't really appreciate whether he's just college big or NFL big. But I was just looking at Hampton back there. Good Lord. That's just like a ball of muscle. He looks like something between Nick Chubb and the old muscle hamster for Tampa Bay. I was going to say his name first, and then I went with Nick Chubb, and then he totally... Doug Martin. Boy, how are you gonna split touches between Hampton and one-eyed Najee Harris? Second and 2. Is Lance gonna do something to, like, fake it and run? Can't have that, Trey. I wonder, it's 3rd and 2. Whatever they play, they run here. And I'm going to bet it's a run play because they have the first team offensive line in. But if they don't get this, I bet they go for it on 4th down. There's Demarius Davis with this group. Hopefully he can get a big play in this game. Looks like Tre Harris, Lambert-Smith, and Darius Davis at wide receiver. Yeah, I thought they'd run with Hampton. Bad decision. Bad decision. He should have turned it up and mowed somebody over for the 1st down. Nice play by Rock Ya-Sin. They gotta go for it on 4th and 2. Or 4th and 1, or whatever it is. Looks like Trey Lance, if he wanted to, could have gone. There we go, Trey. That's a nice moment, but so far everything with Trey Lance has been misdirection and rollout, which is exactly what it should be. But that doesn't show me that Trey Lance is bad. I've seen Trey Lance make this type of fake play and rollout and short toss, and he just got that over Lauren Strickland, who's a really good safety, young prospect. Boy, he just got it over him. Anybody could have made that play. That doesn't show me anything about Trey Lance. It's good that he got it. It's going to be good for him that it didn't get batted away, or he didn't overthrow it, or the guy didn't drop it. So it's a good thing for Trey Lance, but I have not seen anything from Trey Lance, and he hasn't had the chance to show it yet. I haven't seen anything from Trey Lance to make me go, okay, we got some Josh Allen action starting to happen here. All right, going back to the chat. Chris Primu has a question. Can Meyer, the tight end, be anything if he ever gets moved from Vegas? I don't think he's going to be moved by Vegas. I think they're in love with the fact that they can go to tight end with him. That's going to be a team that wants to run the ball, obviously, quite a bit. Pete Carroll wants to run the ball. Chip Kelly wants to run the ball. They drafted Ashton Genty because they want to run the ball. They love having the 2 tight ends in, especially with Meyer being a good blocker. So I don't think he's going to be moved from Vegas anytime soon. Could he be anything if he ever moved from Vegas? I would say he would be Cole Kmet. So, and that means, depending on where he landed, Cole Kmet was something when he was the only thing, but then the second the new regime came in, they're like, yeah, we'll take Colston Loveland, please. Even though they just paid Kmet a bunch of money, the new regime came in and are like, nope, we'll go with Loveland. Tom Finn 2018, good to see you out there, Tom. Nate Landman, he may not seem all that exciting, but these are the kind of tips I get from RC that keep me in the championship picture year in and year out. Just pick them up for $1. You could do worse for a $1 shot at the starting linebacker for a NFL team that's coming on. So appreciate that note. Who's your other linebackers? If you're picking him up off of the waiver wire, how deep is this league? Must be you must play with a decent amount of IDPs. And who's your main linebacker? Well, this Grant Stewart is returning kicks for real. He's fast, but he's a linebacker. They gotta try to make him a fullback? Ooh, I didn't see this coming. Kyle Allen is starting, as he deserves to. I don't like this for my bet. I'm glad that the Chargers are out to a 7-0 lead for my bet, but Let's see if Kyle Allen still got some of the magic that he had from last preseason. We got Craig Reynolds started, not Sion Vaki. Alright, this is all going my way for my Chargers bet for the first quarter. I'll come back to the chat and the questions when we get back at a break in the action. I'm hoping, I want to see some Kyle Allen in the pocket throwing. But a big 1st and 20 to very slow Craig Reynolds. Now they're going to have to throw. Now we'll see if my Kyle Allen scouting from last year makes a difference here. Ross, remind me to tell you, I'm going to be putting it in notes on FFM, so I'm not going to spoil the whole thing right here, but Ross, remind me to tell you what I heard about, how about that throw? That's the kind of throw I want to see Trey Lance making. Ross, remind me to tell you what I heard from someone about Johnny Morton and Ben Johnson. I think you'll like it. That's a real throw from a legit NFL quarterback, whether he's should be a low starter or a just a high backup. That's a nice throw by Kyle Allen. Yeah, the Lions sure have been sloppy early on. Mr. Brommel is here. Welcome. Andy Jacobson is in the house. Welcome to you. Good to see all the names. Good to see the gangs all getting back together. It's about that time. It's about that time for all of us to report to basic training, boot camp, get ready for our military deployment for the next 5 or 6 months. That's a late hit. Oh, Mr. Brommel's bringing some heat on the money line. It's not looking too good right now. You might want to back that up with some. Well, the odds have flipped now on the Chargers for the first quarter and first half. They didn't go to a commercial. They just went to khakis, so I'll stick with the game. And I'll get back to the questions and comments soon. That's it for Hampton. He's out. Tre Harris, and I probably wouldn't have played Hampton or would have given him those couple of touches, just because you don't know if Najee Harris is gonna be available. And obviously Vidal and Hines are you can't go in. You can't think you're gonna win the NFC West if Hampton now gets hurt in a preseason game, and you're going to go with Jared Patterson, who's not bad. Not good, Trey. That was good, Gadsden. Sign a 1 year, $2 million contract with the Chargers. Imagine if Trey Lance had just been like 2 years later into the NIL portal after his freshman year where he went 28 touchdowns and no picks and won a national championship, if I remember correctly, what he would have been worth in the open NIL to go to Alabama or Georgia or whoever. All right, Trey. There's a real throw. He couldn't unleash that. He had to play that in the he had to place that in the basket, and that's huge for Lance because that safety was coming. I bet that was Lawrence Strickland that wailed that receiver. I like Lawrence Strickland, the safety for the Lions. I think he's going to be something someday. That was a nice, comfortable throw, albeit he knew he was going there, but he placed it in the bucket where it had to be. If he threw it short, it was going to get picked or knocked down. If he waited just a little bit longer, the safety coming over would have either killed the wide receiver or picked it off or knocked it away. So that's a nice moment. There's Lad McConkey in street clothes, as he should be.
And let's just be honest, they didn't have enough weapons last year. They just didn't. There wasn't enough talent at the receiver core to really make a difference with Justin.
3rd and 6 for Trey Lance. Nothing open. Hangs in the pocket. Escapes again. Play alive to get to the bench. And incomplete.
That's some nice escapability from Trey Lance. Not too panicky. Had a little moment of panic there. Would have liked to have seen him find a receiver, but there may not have been anyone available to him. Is Dicker kicking? Oh, good. Dicker's kicking, so we're about to be 10-0. No, get in. Oh, come on. Cameron Dicker. Are you kidding me? I could have got a 10-0 lead on my first quarter bet. Minus 0.5. Ugh. Come on. Okay, back to the questions and comments. William Newcomb, back on your quarterback question. It's deep, so it would be a Brown or like Kirk Cousins. I would not suggest it to be Kirk Cousins. Who is your starting quarterback? Do you need to back up your starting quarterback, or have you backed up your starting quarterback? But so you do have Pickett or Flacco as an option. Ross Jacobs say obviously Vidal is buried with Hampton right now. But I would have thought if there was anything to Vidal, I would think he would have been in ahead of Jared Patterson, except for Jared Patterson was just in. And if there was anything to him, you wouldn't want him on special teams, but obviously he's down that low fighting for his NFL existence, and he probably won't make the team. William Newcomb, Pickett is on your roster, in fact, as a lotto ticket for something like that. I think of the names that have been bandied about, I would just stick with Pickett, and on Saturday, my Kenny Pickett rewind report will come out, so see what you think of that as your decision between Him or Flacco. Ross Jacobs, Hampton's biggest weakness is bad vision. That's what I'm afraid of. And he certainly showed that he doesn't, that vision is going to catch up with him, that he's not much more than just a great athlete with muscle that's just running straight ahead and is going to go as far as the offensive line's going to let him go. That he's not got that little extra special gear. Alright, back to the game. Then when we get another break, we'll get we'll get to the bottom of Tom Finn's hatred of running backs. I haven't seen... What's the matchup for the Chargers D-line versus Lions O-line? Is it the Chargers starters, kinda, sorta, versus the Lions backups? I would have thought the Lions would have played some of their, like, Ratledge and some of the other guys and try to get them to gel some. So if this is a Lions first team offensive line, it's not good. Let's see. I'm looking at the names of the back of the jerseys of the Lions O-line. There was only 2 holdings by 2 different wide receivers on that screen, but okay. Okay, Ross is saying it's the backup line for Detroit. Boy, Craig Reynolds runs the ball with all the speed of someone who's literally running in a vat of molasses. I don't know why the Lions love him so much. Smart play. They're going to say that there's a running back right there. He had Craig Reynolds right there. He almost hit Craig Allen's ankle with the ball. It was a smart play by Kyle Allen to ensure it was being thrown away and the play was dead. Yeah. Alright, 3rd and 9. For my bet, I hope you don't convert, but for Kyle Allen's career, I hope he drops back and slings one for a first down. This should be a slant over the middle to Isaac TeSlaa, unless he gets shut down by the. try to look at TeSlaa. Wow, what a great break on it. Nico Reed is not on my radar, but that was a hell of a play. 2 Ks, Nico Reed, 25 out of Oregon, 4.46 speed, 6.95 3 cone. That'll give me some extra work tonight, because I don't think he's anywhere in the... He didn't ring up with anything pre-draft. I thought Vidal was going to get himself a touchdown there. He's just too slow. Rocky Sin, man, they're going to have to put him at safety. This has got to be a Trey Lance keep and running himself. Oh, good thing 5'7", maybe Darius Davis was on the interior blocking for that. Had a flashback to Tank Dell's ACL tear when he was trying to block up the middle for a short running play. Watch your legs, Darius Davis. Okay, well, we're going to get extra points. I'm going to be on my way to earning 1 coffee for tomorrow with this Chargers first quarter bet. I don't think I'm going to get the Lions win the game bet, but it's early, but not looking good. Back to the questions and comments. Tom Finn, we left off with Tom Finn. Hey, look, Cameron Dicker made a kick. Is there anyone else that detests running backs as much as I do? They're the bane of my fantasy existence. Someday I'll start a league where they're worth about as much as defensive tackles or cornerbacks. Well, in some ways you could say that they are, because when one goes down, their backup comes in and does the same exact thing the starter does about 90% of the time. So they tend to be the bane of existence, and usually that means the bane of your existence is you keep picking the ones that tear their ACLs. And you probably had the Pacheco White glory of 2023 and then downfall in 2024. One or the other, or both of them. That'd be a pretty exciting league if defensive tackles and corners score as many points as running backs. This is going to be an advanced league. Ross Jacobs spot on about Mr. Meyer of Las Vegas. Andy Jacobson, Herbert was on a podcast, I think it was Dan Patrick, talking about how much he wants to run more and use more power QB runs like the Bills. I think the Lance signing is a signal they want to do that. No, I don't necessarily think so, but it can't hurt. There may be some Trey Lance inserted into the game running, but I think they like Justin Herbert actually running the ball. I think the talk of that is real. Ross would definitely back that up with his research on the coaches. We've been hearing and seeing the same thing, and there's evidence if you look at the numbers. If you go back to Ross's Chargers report, there was an uptick when last year when Justin Herbert started out the season. He had that foot injury he was dealing with and didn't really run much, and then all of a sudden from about, I don't know, week 6, 7 or so on, Ross would know specifically, there was some nice running games from Justin Herbert. And he's big, and I think he's a 4.5s runner. I mean, Justin Herbert is a hell of an athlete. He just had a foot injury to deal with last year to start the season. Well, there's the undrafted free agent out of UMass getting a touch. Ross is saying that his research is that the Lions are not thrilled with Hooker. So that would make sense why they started Kyle Allen, although with that last pick, they can't be that thrilled with Kyle Allen. Let's see if Allen bounces back. There you go. That's an NFL play. Oh, look at the acceleration from TeSlaa. My son, just a side note, because it just, that sentence that I just spoke made me think of it. My son got a TeSlaa cheap about 6 months ago when there was all the firestorm and they were trying to give them away at one point. So he's always wanted a TeSlaa and he got a TeSlaa. The acceleration in a TeSlaa is absolutely unbelievable. Better to me, and I'm not a car guy by any means, but I've ridden in or driven some a Trans Am, a Corvette, and I'd say that TeSlaa has got more pickup and more rapid acceleration than any car I've ever been in. Just thinking of that while watching Isaac TeSlaa take a basic pass, and then just you could see him take off after he caught the pass. He took off, and you could just see in a short distance he was faster than everybody around him. That's a good sign. Craig Reynolds is the opposite of everything I just said, and continues to prove it. Craig Reynolds is making Kamini Vidal look like a great running back tonight. You'll never guess what liquid I have in that mug that I just took a swig out of. If for those that know me and know what I usually drink, you will be shocked of what is in that mug. I'll let anybody try to guess it, but you won't, and I will give you the answer. Now in my regular drinking device, I've got Diet Dr. Pepper Blackberry. That's my normal. I will say that throw was on the money to Isaac TeSlaa. If Jefferson didn't go over there and pick it off, that was going to be a TeSlaa touchdown. I hope they show that replay of how much TeSlaa beat that corner off the route, but I'm probably gonna have to see it on the tape after the game. Show it to me. I want to see. Show me the TeSlaa matchup. He when he sheds that corner, he just takes a couple of steps and is just past the corner. I'm impressed with what I've seen of TeSlaa, just his movement ability. Sometimes these guys run great at the combine or at a pro day. Then you see him play and you're like, is this guy couldn't have run a 4.4 or a 4.3 or whatever. But TeSlaa looks like the speed is real. And it was at the Senior Bowl it was on tape, but you got to see it in the pros. He's showing it. All right, Trey Lance, what are you going to answer back with? Grant Stewart ain't going to let you out of his clutches. On the guesses of what I am drinking in my actual mug, Andy Jacobson's guess of what's the arch nemesis of Diet Dr. Pepper is a good foundational start to the guess. And then William Newcomb putting it together with a mug that it's kombucha or something gross like that. You're kind of close, but it's not kombucha. Grant Stewart is great. Grant Stewart, I think his first... I'm going to go off a complete memory here. Somebody can check Pro Football Reference or whatever. I think Grant Stewart was thrown into having to start for the Colts last year around mid to later mid-season. And his first game as a starting linebacker in an NFL game, I think he had 18 tackles in the game. And if I remembered that detail, that's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy the things that I cannot remember. That if I remembered exactly how many tackles he had last year in his first real start, I may not even... I think it was a start, or it may have been somebody got hurt right away and then he had to play like 95% of the game. Alright, for that punt, let's go up and see. Get back on track. This is not the Trey Lance domination. I was looking to see if it existed. Alright, one set. Run the first quarter out. Book my bet. Book it. It's not that 1 second's gonna allow the Lions to come back and cover. So there's one bet in the books. Now I'm switching over to being a Lions fan. I've got my Lions colors on. That was my tip to who I was betting in this game. But it was Chargers for the first quarter. The Lions made it too easy on that bet. So I am with you, Mr. Brummel. I want your $150 money line bet to go down. I have the Lions -1.5, so they got some work to do. Tom Finn 2018. Foye Bond, thanks to your heads up last season. Yeah, that was Bond, and then who's the guy from Cleveland several years ago, that was an outside linebacker pass rusher, and then they put him in at inside linebacker, and my whole preseason world changed, and he went on to be, I think, number 2 in the league in tackles that year, out of nowhere, having never played inside linebacker his entire life. Can't think of his name, but it was on the Browns. And I was just talking about him the other day to somebody, remember when, and I knew his name. Like, I can't remember his name, but I know that Grant Stewart had 18 tackles in his first game as an inside linebacker starter last year. You also have Logan Wilson, which is fine. Jewell looks like he is done, but we'll see. Cedric Gray, man. Ross, have you heard anything about Cedric Gray? It's like he doesn't even exist. I thought he was going to be legit, and he still may be. And then I'm telling you, Servassier Dennis is the next big hit of mine. How cheap did you get Servassier? Did you get him for $1 too? Oh, starting 3 of them, linebackers most weeks. Man, you're going to have a killer linebacker group. With depth. That's a shame that you lost Josie Jewell, potentially. Ross Jacobs, RC, did you notice how much shotgun and passing they are doing? I wasn't really looking. I'm not really... I just figured with Trey Lance in the game, that's the offense they would run. But I know Ross is of the belief that they're going to go into a lot more passing and passing alignments and everything else. So it certainly lends itself to your research on that. But I'm just thinking that's what you do with Trey Lance. Let's put him in the shotgun and run RPOs. Alright, we still got Kyle, and now I need Kyle Allen to start turning it on. I know it's pronounced TeSlaa, but it so needs to be TeSlaa, so I'm never not gonna call him Isaac TeSlaa. I don't care how he pronounces his name. Just like I'm never gonna say something is an X post, I'm gonna say it's a tweet, because that's just the way it is. Yeah, Joe Schobert. Yep. It was 19 tackles in his first start. Close. With my 18. Oh, the virtual measurement thing. That's going to be such an awesome advancement for watching the NFL. Alright, we got the Lions at midfield. We can get a little sustained drive here. Get a touchdown. We'll be in good shape with the Lions, because it's going to be Hendon Hooker, who's okay-ish, versus probably that kid from Florida State, unless they're going to go Trey Lance the whole game. Keep going. He was untouched. That should be a first down.
Right near the first down marker, but a yard shot. So no virtual measurement coming, just third down. TeSlaa, you mentioned he was a high school quarterback in the state of Michigan, about 150 miles away from Detroit and Hudsonville. He won a state championship as a wing T quarterback. State championship in Ford Field.
Just listen to that story about TeSlaa. Oh, that's a crazy story. Come on. Flag or timeout? Okay, good. That Isaac TeSlaa story is kind of crazy. That certainly makes you love the fans are going to love Isaac TeSlaa. Alright, Lions, convert this first down. We need you to get back in this game. There's a first. Yeah, Craig Reynolds is Barry Sanders all of a sudden. And now he's got a concussion because he looked like he slammed the front of his head into the ground.
But this is where the Lions make a living, running right up the middle of the field. And now they're going to have a rookie second-round draft pick, and they're probably playing guard and take what.
Mr. Brommel, been finding value this year stacking Dallas or Jacksonville with Carolina and grabbing the rookie running backs for Pitt and the Chargers. Talking about stacking Dallas or Jacksonville with Carolina for the offense or defense? Can't be defense. The Dallas stack looks interesting. The Jacksonville stack could be something. I don't know about the Carolina stack though. I'm so anti-Bryce Young that there's an offside. Been able to do a lot of Dallas and Miami as well with all 4 wide receivers. I know that Ross Jacobs would endorse your Miami stack. We're more looking at, if we're talking stacks, probably Bengals #1, but obviously it's not as easy to get to in a draft. But that Miami stack is very doable, especially with how undervalued Waddle is.
Trey Lance doing okay, but it's a wide open competition for the #2 spot, really on both these teams. But Kyle Allen, I guess I sort of thought he would be the favorite because he has so much experience if something were to happen.
Come on, Kyle Allen. This is where you should hook one up on a. Let TeSlaa get a step on his corner and give him one he can catch. Third and short or 4th and short. I think maybe Dan Campbell's going to let him go for it.
And that's the kind of throw right there that you see out of Jared Goff all the time. Those on-time, anticipated throws, on the money, stop the receiver.
If they're saying that Lovett looks like the better rookie wide receiver in camp than TeSlaa, I say absolutely no way. Especially just looking at them tonight, it's not even close. Just the kind of athletes they are, the way that they're moving. Man, TeSlaa just came off the line brilliantly on that. Get the first, Kyle. Boy, I don't know. He shifted the ball in the wrong hand when he went out of bounds. I don't know if he got it. Depends on where they mark it. Obviously. Did he shift it too far to the right? Yeah, I guess he got it over. I mean, he needed to get it to the right to protect it, but I thought he had it carried like a loaf of bread behind him when he went out of bounds, but he did have it ahead of him. Come on, Kyle, let's get this draw. Let's get this game cut in half now. Man, this running back from Tennessee, Small, does not look great either. Ross, I can't remember what this was in, which running back this was making fun of, but I'm laughing no matter who it was about your Kyle Manungai say hello to your future as either Craig Reynolds or Vidal, one or the other. The joke works for both of them, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the one name they don't want to hear a lot of this year has been Josh
Tom Finn 2018. Yes, I had the Pacheco side of that Pacheco White equation. I'll never forget the one of the rare times I had a top 5 rookie pick and took Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Did you take him number 1? If you didn't take him number 1, it's because Jonathan Taylor probably went number 1, and it made all the sense in the world to take Clyde Edwards 1 or 2 just because of being with KC. Even though we knew he wasn't the greatest, it was a good, really good situation. Andy Jacobson, I merged the other day and a TeSlaa behind me did the same and accelerated so fast it almost rear-ended me, so I can attest that. It is stunning on the acceleration. I mean, it is almost like being in a rocket ship. It goes up to speed so fast with such grace. I wish they weren't jacking up their prices, because I was really wanting to get one when they were cheaper. Nice, that'll work. Good 4th down conversion. Andy Jacobson looks like 5.6 yards per game rushing for Herbie weeks 1 through 6, then 21 per game weeks 7 through 18. And that's a lot for any quarterback who's not, the Justin Fields that can only run, or the Lamar that does that for a living. The high-end passers who can book over 15 to 20 yards rushing, that is extra icing on the cake. Oh, who made that tackle? Caleb Murphy. Good tackle.
Caleb Murphy is an up-and-coming guy on this defense. Now, Kyle Kennard is the Bronco Nagurski winner, best defensive player in college football, drafted in the 4th round. But the guy who's competing with him is Caleb Murphy, and in reality, probably...
Caleb Murphy? I thought he was a linebacker. Okay. All right. Mr. Brommel, we just cut it in half. Caleb Murphy is a 2024 linebacker. Started out actually in 2023 with Tennessee. Then he's been low level for the Chargers the past couple years. All right, we got this lead cut in half. So William Newcomb's guess of it's in a mug, kombucha, or something gross like that. It's fairly gross, but I am trying the health benefits, supposedly, of matcha tea. I actually had a brewed hot tea for the first time in I don't know how long today. Trying out the matcha green tea for the health benefits, and it's okay-ish. I had to doctor it up to make it more RC drinkable. Andy Jacobson, who was Stewart with last year? The Colts. I just remember him going nuts. Yeah, it was the Colts. And so he had those 2 big games. He had all those double-digit tackle games and was playing really well and all that. Replacing not EJ Speed. Maybe it was EJ Speed who was hurt, or maybe it was Zaire Franklin. I can't remember which. He was replacing one of them that got hurt, I believe. And then he had those massive tackle games, and he was really playing well. The second Speed or Franklin got back to healthy in the lineup, Stewart never. That was it for him. Back to special teams. We don't need your 14 to 18 tackles a game, 14 to 19 tackles a game.
But the world is still full of wonder. You just need a better way to find it.
Andy Jacobs had a few games in a row with like 14 plus tackles. Yeah. And then nothing, and this is like it wasn't like he went for, if I'm just remembering correctly, it wasn't like he went from 19 and a bunch of 15s and 14s and all of that to 7 and then to 6 and 8 and 6 and 5 and 3 and then just disappeared. It's like double digits, 15 to 18, 14, and then 2. Because he didn't let him play. He put him back on just special teams only. Ross Jacobs Reynolds is getting some wide open holes all of a sudden. Yeah, the Chargers obviously must have rotated out defensive players because all of a sudden Craig Reynolds looks fantastic. That's overstating it for sure. Andy Jacobson, Ross, you were a Tyler Warren guy. Can't remember. Word is he's getting targeted like crazy and getting backfield snaps. Ross is, yes, I like Warren. He's going to get peppered with targets. I have noticed all of that as well, and am starting to move him up in the Dynasty Rookie Draft rankings that'll come out a little bit later after the first half of this game when we shut down the stream, because I don't want to go through the whole halftime, the elongated Hall of Fame halftime. And I just wanted to see whether Trey Lance had a new gear, but so far I have not seen that gear. I've just seen the old gear being used over and over. I was going to say to Ross that you would appreciate it that I was drinking matcha tea, and I was thinking you probably drink it. So knowing, yes, you thinking it's delicious is par for the course. And no, I'm never going to try sushi. I've tried sushi. I've tried sushi multiple times. It just doesn't do anything for me. I'm good with seaweed. I'm good with spinach. I'm good with rice. I'm good with a shrimp or a crab. But I don't like the raw vegetables or the raw fish parts of sushi. Like the California roll or the spring roll, like the traditional sushis that everybody likes, not for me. If I can get it designed up the way that I want it, I'm okay with it. Who we got in at running back now for... Oh, that was Nyheim Hines. The way it looks like the multiple leg injuries have not done him any favors. That's a decent read by Trey Lance.
I think for me it was just about the game itself. I always played a play.
This matcha tea is supposed to give me energy. That's why I made a cup of it to bring with me to the stream, but the boredom of the slow pace of the Hall of Fame game is fighting the energy boost of the matcha tea. Matcha. Has Trey Lance completed a pass to a wide receiver? I guess he had that one where he dropped it in the bucket. I was hoping to see Trey Lance unleashed, and I'm just seeing old Trey Lance repackaged in a new uniform. That's NFL plausible, but just as like a backup, should be a backup for a running quarterback like Justin Herbert's going to be this year. That's old Trey Lance. Stare down the first read, throw it no matter what, although I think the receiver stopped on the route potentially. Or did Lance throw it too far in front of him where he couldn't catch it? Mr. Schwartz is here this evening. I always forget how much of a slog the Hall of Fame game is. Yes, it is. I was hoping we'd see a little Trey Lance action for it to be exciting. I thought they might give us some players to prop bet, but they didn't. To try to add a little bit of juice to this, but when me drinking matcha tea is the most exciting part of the stream. Ross, you're ahead of now. There's a throw. Ross is a couple seconds ahead of my feed. Tucker Fisk, man. That was quite the catch. I didn't see that. Did Lance read that, or was Lance throwing that no matter what? Wow, Justin Herbert looks a lot healthier. Less pale than I remember. I'm going to rewind this back real quick, and I want to see that Trey Lance throw. Did he read that, or was he going to throw that tight end pass the whole time? I'm rewatching. Rewatch the slow-mo version. He's kind of looking left before the snap. It looked like he was going to make that throw no matter what. You know what's not helping this game get any more exciting is Naheem Miller-Hines in the game. I thought Craig Reynolds looked slow. Well, we're in the 2-minute warning. As soon as the first half comes to an end, I'll shut off the stream. So before all of that happens, and we'll see if Trey Lance is going to lead another scoring drive here and kind of kill any of our hopes of the Lions coming back to win this game. But appreciate everybody who jumped on to watch it along live and checked in and threw comments in. Appreciate that. And to everybody who's going to be watching after the fact, thank you so much. Alright, I just saw a commercial for the new Naked Gun. Is anybody planning to go see the new Naked Gun? Like go to the theater and pay for it? I mean, the original Naked Guns were, at their time, was so awesome. I just don't know if you can do it without Leslie Nielsen. I don't know if you can do it without the original producer. Maybe you can. I don't know if I'm offended by the new Naked Gun or not. Yeah, William Newcomb, I'm kind of with you. I think it's going to be that needs to be on Netflix or Amazon or something. Speaking of really bad comedies, I'm 3/4 of the way through Happy Gilmore 2. I've been watching it when I go, I don't want to brag, but when I go to the gym every morning and do my when I get on the treadmill, which I absolutely hate, but I'm finding I can actually do the treadmill for a decent amount of time if I have something I can watch and focus on that keeps my attention. So I watched, I'll tell you what I'm watching now, but I'll tell you what I watched before it. It's going to be the best advice I may have given on this entire stream. But I'm currently watching in like 30-minute or so blips, because that's how long I'll go on the treadmill for. I'm watching Happy Gilmore 2. I mean, there's a chuckle here and there, but it's kind of sad when they try to remake, when they try to gin up that old, goodness and or greatness from the original movie. It's just so hard to capture. So I'm fearing that that's what the Naked Gun is going to be. It's just can't capture it. But the movie that I watched before I watched Happy Gilmore, such a complete departure of these two movies and what they're like. The movie that I watched in little 30 to 45 minute bursts while I was doing the treadmill, and I almost couldn't wait to get to the gym to continue watching this movie. That's kind of the bargain I've made with myself, is to that I wouldn't watch the movie ahead. There goes Lambert-Smith for a touchdown. That is Lambert-Smith, right? Yep, there he goes. I watched, and I had this on my list from the beginning of the off season, and I knew I had to get it in before all of a sudden the season was about to hit us. They made a movie about the original first episode of Saturday Night Live called Saturday Night, and it's on Netflix, and it's like a real time. It's like a 2-hour movie, let's say. I don't think it's a full. I don't think it's a full 2 hours, but it's maybe close. But they do it to where the 2 hour, if the movie's an hour 45, they pick up the story like an hour and a half before the first Saturday Night Live episode was gonna go live at 11:30 East Coast time. So it's like what was happening at 10 o'clock p.m. roughly, an hour and a half before showtime, and then they ran the kind of the movie in real time at that point, taking you up to the first episode of Saturday Night Live debuting. And with that, the way they shot it, and by doing that, it kind of showed you all the personalities, all the troubles that they were having to put that first episode even on, what the affiliates were thinking, what the executives were thinking. There was so much chaos and disgruntled actor. I mean, there was so much going on behind the scenes, and it was a real, supposed real story of what was really happening that very first episode. I thought the actors that played like Gilda Radner and John Belushi and all that were fantastic. The way the movie shot was just it is the best movie that I saw, that I've seen this year. Now, I haven't seen a lot because I'm starting to really not like movies. I much prefer really well made TV series. But do yourself a favor, especially if you were in that era of the early Saturday Night Lives. If you're a Saturday Night Live fan from back in the day, I think you'll really enjoy the period piece, the real time, what happened right up to showtime of the very first episode of Saturday Night. The way that was acted, the way that it was shot, the way that it was written, the way that it moved, really one of the better movies I have seen in the past couple of years. Definitely the best movie I've seen this year, but I haven't seen many. So it looks like we're going to get the Lions about one more drive, and then we'll get us on out of here. Travis Alexander is checking in. Go Cowboys. I have been waiting and wondering and thinking that the Cowboys are like one move away from challenging the Eagles and the Commanders to win that division. I think if they somehow, some way land a corner, because Diggs is going to be out for a little bit, and Diggs may be half nuts anyway, and Dallas can't afford to have a slow start because they have a leak at the other cornerback spot, and that Kaiir Elam isn't. I can't believe he's going to be it, even though they're talking about how great he looks in the preseason. I feel like Dallas is like one and a half pieces away from really competing with the top teams in that division. They're definitely a sleeper, but I wish they would find that one thing, and that one thing is an outside corner. Waiting for the streaming release. So wait a minute, let me back up to William Newcomb's movie recommendation, I Don't Understand You. Who was that with? I've never heard of that. That's not ringing any bells. Is there name actor or actors in it, or is it a like an independent thing? I'm writing it down nonetheless. I Don't Understand You. And is it a comedy? Is it a drama? Is it a war piece? It sounds like a relationship thing, but I really don't know. I like Nick Kroll. The Nick Kroll show, the old Comedy Central Nick Kroll show. I've watched a lot of clips of that. I didn't watch it when it was really on, but I've had clips thrown into my YouTube feed and just been watching them randomly. The Nick Kroll show on Comedy Central was really good. And that Oh Hello he does with the other comedian. That's a good comedian. That was a writer for Saturday Night Live and now hosts Saturday Night Live quite a bit. John Mulaney. John Mulaney and Nick Kroll as those characters in Oh Hello. So good. So I'm gonna have to check that out. Was Nick Kroll just the actor in it, or did he write it and produce it? He has a pretty good comedic talent and eye. Man, the Lions are punting again. Why did I bet on the Lions to win this game? Travis Alexander, I was trying to find something about football. This is the movie channel. That's about as exciting as this game is. We have to talk about matcha tea and movies. They're showing, I've seen now that the pass rusher Hall of Famer Josh Allen a couple of times. Man, he looks like a shell of himself. He has lost a lot of muscle mass and weight. So we're going to get another minute and a half for the Chargers to score again. One more chance for Trey Lance. Now that the backups to the backups are starting to rotate in, this should be, Trey Lance should be trying to take over the game, and he's just not really showing. He's not doing anything bad. He's just not doing anything. It's like, wow, he really has come a long way. But he's doing okay. Travis Alexander, how many wins are you calling for the Dallas Cowboys as they're currently constituted? With an unknown Diggs. With a docked payroll Diggs. Back to the movie channel. William Newcomb, it feels like he wrote or contributed heavily. It's a movie where after you watch it, it's a fun watch again with a friend to hear what they are thinking, guessing. Alright, now you got me totally intrigued. You had me with Nick Kroll, but I like the description of usually Kroll's in comedies, not in stuff that's got a little bit of a story twist to it. Ross Jacobs is going 9 for Dallas with a tough schedule. I am doing my faux computer simulation 2.0 season with the rosters the way they're currently constituted. So I am not going to reveal where I have the Cowboys at, but I'm looking as a reminder to see what my final tally was. I'm not going to spoil whether they made the playoffs or not, or whether they got over 500 or not. Alright, Trey, show us something. Clock is running down. This is probably gonna be the last play, and then they're gonna run off the field, and then I will shut down the stream. So again, once again, appreciate everybody jumping on that could live and throwing in movie recommendations and everything else and football comments. It's appreciated. Oh, there's that rookie pass rusher for Detroit. Trey Lance, you gonna go one more play? Travis Alexander, as a fan, 14 to 15 wins. As a football fan, unbiased, 8 or 9. That's the thing. If you see Dallas as an 8-9 win team in that range, as I think most people do, I think they're that one thing away that could get them up to 10-11 wins. And then if they're up in the 10-11 wins, now you're talking potential division and for sure playoffs. And if Dak is healthy, they're at least a threat in the playoffs with that O-line, assuming Guyton is going to heal up and be fine, and Dak is going to stay healthy. They're going to be a tough, with George Pickens in place now, they're going to be a tough team to beat. They're going to be one of those teams you don't want to play, but you do want to play them when they don't have Diggs back there. So that's the last comment. The game has come to an end, or the first half has come to an end. So as far as I'm concerned, the game has come to an end because it doesn't look like the Lions are going to pay off our bet to come back and win this game. So again, appreciate the live attendance, and thank you to anybody else who's watching it after the fact. So we'll see when the next live stream of preseason is going to be. Next week we got the full complement of games. I have to see what even are the matchups. If there's a matchup that jumps out that's going to be great for scouting, a great battle of rookies or whoever that we want to watch, we can do a stream of the first half of a game coming up. So Ross Jacobs, this is the spike the ball at the end of the stream comment. I'm going to read it, and then I'm not even going to say goodbye. I'm just going to shut off the stream. Ross Jacobs ends it with,